My WordPress story began at almost 9 years ago when I wanted to start a blog. It was quite popular to be a blogger 9 years ago, or it was the hype that just started then. Facebook was not so known in Slovakia or Czech Republic, so I wanted to start blogging, and a very good friend of mine, he told me about WordPress. That WordPress is simple, it's easy to use, and it's free. Free in both expressions, free as a beer, free as a speech. So these were the first reasons why I started using WordPress. But the third reason, community, is why I'm still using WordPress, why I'm still active in the WordPress community. So let's start with what's community, and I'm gonna help with some Wikipedia searches. And the community is a social unit that shares common values. And as well, community is a group of people who are connected by durable relations and who define that relationship as important to their social identity and practice. So it's about sharing common values, sharing relationships that are important for people. And I think this defines all the communities around the world, not especially WordPress community or Drupal community, but open source community and all the different communities. But also it's a quite vague. So for me, community is about helping each other to use the CMS we love to use. It's about sharing experience, sharing knowledge, and it's about being a member of a big family, of open source family or WordPress community in particular. And it's about fulfilling needs of everyone in the community. Each of us, we have our needs, and we are here because we want to learn something, we want to be part of the community, or we want to do something for others, and that's why we are in a community. Community is not about ego, not about imitation of some else community or someone else. It's not working on external pressure, or it's not good for profit only, because these values won't last long in community. So what about Slovak community in 2008 when I started using WordPress? There was just a partial translation of WordPress into Slovak. There were no meetups, no WordCamps, nothing, just dreams. I started using WordPress and I realized that it's easy to use, but it's not translated into Slovak. So I started to translate WordPress into Slovak, and I found the other guy who was translating as well. So we worked together and we released our first Slovak translation, and it was downloaded like 300 times. So there were like 300 or a few hundred websites, mostly blogs, in Slovakia 8 years ago. And yeah, that was quite good. I worked on something, and immediately, few days after, a few hundred people were using that translation. Yeah, that was great, and I felt good that I helped these people. These days, it's like 30,000 downloads, so it's quite a lot or more people than that. After these translations, we had quite a lot of feedback. People thanked us that we created the translation. They gave us feedback, what can we improve, but mostly they asked us about how to use WordPress, how to solve this particular issue, how to repair their website because they have this error and everything. So we started support forums where people can ask the questions, and anybody from the WordPress community, mostly two of us, and there were a third guy and fourth, we were answering all the questions and helping other people to start using WordPress and to solve their issues. And that was a great way for me how to learn WordPress, because I was not a WordPress specialist at that time and I didn't know much, but I was learning, and the best way for me was to solve the problems the other people they asked on the support forums. So I just Googled the questions in English. I found a solution, I tested it on my blog or my test website, and I wrote it in Slovak on support forum. And it was quite easy. It was also about translation mostly, but I learned a lot by doing this. And that's how I became a WordPress specialist at first. So yeah, we created the translation, support forums, but we wanted to communicate with the community in a little bit different way. We wanted to share our knowledge, to write articles about WordPress, to publish the translation somewhere. So we started this website called WordPress Slovakia at wp.sk. And we published all our ideas, articles, manuals, guides, and the translation itself on this website. And this became the home of our Slovak WordPress community for a long time. But it was slow going. We were like 3-4 active people in the community, a few hundreds people who were using the translation and who were visiting the web page. But we didn't met each other. There were few discussions on support forums, a few comments under our articles on our website. But we would like to meet with the people in the community, and there was the idea to organize a conference, and we were searching for which in which way we could organize a conference, WordPress conference or meeting, and we realized that there is this concept called WordCamp, and there were a few WordCamps around the globe before, so we applied to organize a WordCamp. And after a few months, we got an answer because there were only one guy who were coordinating all the WordCamps, and it was not his full-time job, so he didn't have that much time to communicate with all the WordCamp organizers back then. But after a while and a few months of preparations, we organized our first WordCamp in Slovakia. And it was really a small one, small WordCamp. It was in Žilina. It's the third biggest city in Slovakia. And there were only 50 or 55 people. We were in one room, one track, 6 or 7 speakers. And it was more of a gathering of a community than a conference. It was more of about sharing our knowledge and discussion. For example, we had one guy from Joomla community, and he talked about Joomla, and we were comparing Joomla and WordPress at that time, and it was quite funny, and it was really good that the open source community, we know each other and we share our knowledge. I'm sorry for that. Okay, so this was the first time when we met in a WordPress community in Slovakia, and it was really great to see people I known from online space for a long time. I've read their blogs, they read our blog, and we finally managed to see ourselves, and we were motivated to do more for the community, to do more, but we didn't know how. We didn't have many ideas, and there was this WordCamp Europe, the first WordCamp Europe in 2013 in Leiden, the Netherlands. We made a road trip, 4 of us there, and it was mind-blowing for me, for us, to see that there are more communities like we are, that there are communities that they are struggling with similar issues, or they are trying to do something similar. And I had the possibility to meet with my WordPress heroes, the people who were already known in the community, and the people who created the WordPress and community itself. And on WordCamp Europe, aside other things, we learned about this concept of meetups. And we organized the first WordPress meetup just right about WordCamp Europe. And what's important about WordPress meetups, it's that they are regular meetings. Usually they are organized once a month. And this really helped us to grow the community. Because when people know that there is a community and that we are meeting every month, so they start thinking about it. Okay, I'm using WordPress, I like it, I would like to learn something more, maybe to share something. So I would like to come, but they won't come to the first meetup or second or third. But when they see on Facebook or somewhere else that there is this fifth, sixth meetup, and they are thinking about it for a while, so they finally come, and this is how our community grow. We started meetups not only in Bratislava, but in various different cities, and mostly it was my activity, my meetups, and this was the time when I realized that I can't do it alone, because I only have so much time. And managing translations, organizing WordCamp, meetups, and my daily job, it was too much. And there was a time when I had not the time to organize a meetup, and there were no meetup. So at one of meetups, I just told them that there will be no meetups if there is not someone else who will be organizing them. And I approached the people and tried to encourage them to organize a meetup, and that I'm willing to help them with it. And I was surprised, and they organized the next meetup in Bratislava, in Žilina, in various different cities. So these are the people. We were at WordCamp Prague in February this year, and all of them are very active in a community. For example, Karol and Katka, they are organizers of WordCamp meetup in Bratislava and future organizers of WordCamp in Bratislava. Jan was organizer of WordCamp Bratislava 2015, and Paolo is co-organizer of WordCamp Žilina. So it was when I stepped back and approached the people and encouraged them to organize a meetup, to be more active in a community, to speak about WordPress, to share their knowledge, and they started doing it, and it was the best step for our community, because it was not about myself or my time, but it was about community itself. What helped us as well was that we started organizing this meetup in co-working spaces. Before, we just met in a pub, have a beer or two or five, and talked about WordPress, about what we are doing, and sharing our knowledge and experience. But when we started organizing it in co-working spaces and to have a topic, for example, some WordPress basics or e-shops, or that was the time when people came in larger amounts. So we had one meetup, there were like 80 or 90 people, because we have there people from the biggest WordPress website in Slovakia, Deník N. It's one of the most known sites in Slovakia. What helped us as well was Facebook, because thanks to Facebook, we could reach more and more people. So this was really a big help to organize a meetup via a Facebook event. And the third tool that helped us was the Slack. On Slack, we communicate in our community, organize the meetups, WordCamps, and we coordinate all the translations. and we communicate asynchronously through Slack. So this is a really good tool for communications. But we also did a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes in translation. We have our haters, and there's always someone who's complaining, and that's the sign that you are doing at least something good, because you have haters and you have someone that don't like something about what you do or how you do it. And maybe one of the big problems is the time, because we all are volunteers, and we have different availability. And for example, sometimes I didn't have time to create a Facebook event. So I announced the meetup one day before the event itself, and it's not very helpful to let people that there's something happening just 24 hours in advance. So we made mistakes, we learned from them, and we made different other mistakes later, but we are still learning as we grow the community. So in 2016, there's like 16% of websites based on WordPress in Slovakia. In the world, it's 26%. So it's quite growing, the WordPress usage in Slovakia, and the community is growing as well. For example, there's Joomla and Drupal. They are like stable market share this past 1 or 2 years. In Slovakia, we have big websites like Deník N, based on WordPress, or the biggest Radio Express, maybe Startup portal, and many others. And we have 7 active meetup groups. We had the WordCamp in 2 cities. There will be a third one in 2017. We have more than 200 contributors. Mostly they are translating WordPress into Slovak. So we finished WordPress translation, and we translated a few from the most used WordPress plugins and themes. And our goal is to translate 20 or 30 most popular themes and plugins in order to everyone can use WordPress and plugins in Slovak language as well. We have WordCamp speakers, and we are becoming the part of the European and global WordPress community. And that's the next step of growing community, that you are not just the local community that is closed and you are growing just slowly, or but we are part of the global community, and events like WordPress Translation Day, it was a few weeks ago. It was 24-hour event. There were a lot of local events, a lot of remote events, and we translated WordPress together in these 24 hours from various cities over the world. And there was this live stream from various cities, and it was really fun to meet, to translate, and to know that there are thousands of other people that translate WordPress to their language at the same time. So this is really helping us as a community to have a bigger view of the community itself. And one of the best events for growing WordPress community in Europe is WordCamp Europe. There will be a WordCamp Europe in Paris, France in June this year, and it will be, I think, 5th WordCamp Europe. And it's the biggest WordPress event in Europe. In Vienna this year there were like 2,000 people. And it was mind-blowing to meet all the other people from Europe, from different other communities. And as we know each other, we visit our WordCamps around Europe. For example, I travel quite a lot this year. I've been to many WordCamps, and it's really great to know the specifics of the different communities. It's great to have the possibility to learn from each other, and to see how we are different and how we are very similar in many aspects. And that's what's the same in the open source community. As I know Drupal community a bit more, I find that the Drupal and WordPress community are very similar. There are so many similarities, and we can still learn from each other how we create the code, what tools do we use, how do we translate, how do we organize the community and meetups and Drupal camps, WordCamp camps. So this is really great possibility for us to work together and create one big open source community and to share these ideas of open source to other people who don't know open source yet. So thank you for coming. If you have any questions, I would gladly answer. Yeah. Yeah.
Just. What do you think is the biggest challenge that is facing your community?
My community.
Organizing the community in general.
I think it's the people itself. There are a lot of people in a community that they would like to do something, but they are shy. They don't want to be the crazy ones. So I think the biggest challenge is to encourage more and more people to become active, not to be afraid, and to do something for others, to share their knowledge, because everyone we have our experience, and that's really important to have more and more active people, more contributors. And that's how the community is becoming major community, to have more contributors. For example, we don't have developers in Slovakia that are contributing to WordPress core on a regular basis. So that's one of the challenges to motivate, to encourage them to be active.
I want to start with saying that congratulations, you did your first talk in English.
Yeah, thank you.
But you talk about WordPress in a Drupal conference, so that is even better. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And just on the other hand, I just wanted to ask you, what are the things that you most like from the Drupal community and the ones that you dislike?
I don't know Drupal community that much, so I can tell you after this Drupal IronCamp a little bit more about it. But I found a lot of similarities, so that's something. I think Drupal is more focused on enterprise solutions and more on commit to the core, and so this is something what we can learn from Drupal community, to have more core committers, to have more developers contributing to WordPress source. So that's maybe the first one.
Then I just suggest you to join us in the sprints. Probably you can more or less understand how we organize the code sprints and how we get more developers into core development.
Yeah, I would like to.
Because the system, I guess the system that we are developing for that is pretty good.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I've been as well in a WordCamp in Spain. I've been speaking about Drupal, and I more or less I've been discussing that they don't have a system like in Drupal community to bring more developers into core.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm not a developer, so I'm not that much familiar how it's working in a WordPress community. But yeah,
we can discuss it later.
We can discuss it.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe more questions?
Also, hi. Can you speak more when you gave up the control of organizing everything yourself and you started to delegate finally? Was it because of stress or because you found people that you could trust, or what was the switch?
I realized that what will happen if I'm not there anymore? Will there be a community? Because when I was the one who translating, organizing everything and something. For example, if I moved somewhere else, will there be a community? I think there will be, but it's better to have a continued community. So I decided to try a different approach, and yeah, it worked. So it was for the good of the community. Yeah. Thanks.
Hey, what are the biggest channels now for in Slovak community?
Biggest
Facebook or I mean, yeah, the communication channels.
Yes, I think Facebook is the most used tool for communication. We have a Facebook group with more than 2,000 people and local groups with hundreds or so. And yeah, we announce the events via Facebook events. So that's the main channel for communication. But we have also the Slack, and we use meetup.com as well, but Facebook is the most used by most of the people. So okay, maybe some other questions? If not, thank you very much, and I will be here throughout the day, so ask me if you